Have you ever wondered what it actually means when a doctor says a medical implant has a 15-year lifetime? Well, today we're going to dive into what expected lifetime really means for medical devices, and I'll give you a hint. It's almost definitely not what you think.
It's such a fundamental question, right? If you have something like a hip replacement, a heart valve, or a surgical mesh, you want to know point blank, how long is this thing actually going to last inside my body?
Okay, let's just get right to the heart of it. Your first thought, your gut instinct is probably that it's an engineering question. You know, how long can the plastic or metal hold up before it just wears out? But here's the twist. In the medical world, that's not the real metric. The actual answer is all about the evidence. It's the period of time where we have proof of clinical safety and performance.
So let's really nail down this new definition. We have to shift our thinking away from just the physical materials and move toward a definition that's all about scientific proof and what's best for patients.
So here it is, the official definition. And honestly, this is a total game changer. The expected lifetime is the period where a device's safety and performance have been adequately evaluated. That word, evaluated, is everything. It's not about how long it can endure physical stress. It's about how long we have solid, high-quality data that proves the device is working safely.
I mean, the source material just says it perfectly. The whole idea is anchored in clinical follow-up requirements. This is the key. We're not talking about some stress test in a lab. We're talking about observations from thousands of real patients over years and years of follow-up. That's what really counts.
And that brings us to a super important concept, the evidence hierarchy. Because, when you're talking about clinical evidence, it turns out there's a definite pecking order. Not all data gets an equal say.
So how do manufacturers actually make their case? Well, they have to climb this pyramid of evidence. Think of it as a pyramid of trust. At the very top, the absolute gold standard are systematic reviews and meta-analyses, basically huge studies of other studies. Right below that are massive patient registries. Then you get clinical guidelines, and way down at the bottom are things like one-off case reports. They're interesting, sure, but you'd never base a lifetime claim on them.
Let's make this crystal clear. Say you have a massive registry with data on thousands of patients, and it shows an implant is safe for 15 years. But then, you see a single case report about one person where it lasted 20 years. Which one sets the lifetime? The 15 years, every single time. The power of all that high-quality data from thousands of people will always outweigh a single anecdote. That's the hierarchy in action.
All right, enough theory. Let's look at how this all works in the real world. We've got two great examples that really make this whole concept click. First up, check this out, an absorbable surgical mesh. The material itself is actually designed to dissolve and be absorbed by the body in just 3 months. So, is its lifetime 3 months? Not even close. The best clinical evidence we have says doctors need to follow up with patients for up to 5 years to watch for complications. So, the official expected lifetime is 5 years, even though the physical device is long gone. Wild, right?
Okay, next example. Think of a long-term orthopedic implant, like a knee or hip replacement. Now, the engineers who built it might say, theoretically, the materials could hold up for much longer. But if the best, high-quality registry data only tracks patients reliably for 15 years, then guess what? The official expected lifetime is capped at 15 years. Now, this doesn't mean it explodes on year 15 plus 1 day. It just means that's the window of time for which we have rock-solid, evidence-based confidence.
So we get the definition now. But here's the really crucial part, and this is the tutorial focus for us today. This number isn't set in stone. The expected lifetime is a living, breathing definition that is designed to change as our knowledge gets better.
Yeah, this is absolutely fundamental. An implant's lifetime isn't something you just set once and forget about. As science moves forward, as we gather more and more long-term data, that number has to evolve right along with it. It's all about making sure safety keeps pace with the science.
So how does this update cycle actually work? Well, it's a pretty straightforward process. First, new long-term data comes out from a heavy hitter high in that evidence pyramid. Let's say a big registry publishes its 20-year follow-up data. Step 2, based on that powerful new evidence, medical groups update their official clinical guidelines. And finally, manufacturers are then required to update their device's expected lifetime. So that 15-year implant we were talking about, its lifetime can now officially become 20 years, but only because the evidence got there first.
And that's really the whole point. This constant cycle of updating ensures that an implant's lifetime is never some dusty old number, but a dynamic figure that reflects the absolute latest in our medical understanding.
Okay, so we've been deep in the weeds. Let's pull back up and ask the big question. Why does any of this matter? Well, it all comes down to two huge things: patient safety and our trust in the system.
So let's boil it all down. What are the big takeaways? First, this whole system puts patient safety first by tying lifetime to proven outcomes, not just materials. Second, it's all based on high-quality evidence. Third, it standardizes everything. It stops a manufacturer with only a year of data from trying to sell a device that we already know from other evidence should have a 15-year lifetime. It keeps everyone honest. And finally, it's dynamic. Knowing that the definition evolves with science is what builds real, lasting trust.
And I'll leave you with this one last fascinating question to chew on. We've seen how the lifetime is defined by how much data we have. But what happens down the road when our data collection gets so good that the evidence-based lifetime finally catches up to or even surpasses the physical limits of the implant itself? That's the incredible future that evidence-based medicine is building, one study at a time. Thanks for digging into this with me.